Hello, we're Cintric, and we allow brands to target and measure consumers with location and patterns of movement. Let's see how this works. This all begins when a brand integrates our tracking SDK into their mobile app. Their consumers see a location permission dialog where they can opt in to sharing their location data in exchange for an in-app feature or an incentive like a discount on one of our favorite products. Now, this is just like the rest of the 720,000 people we already have on the Cintric platform. And this is the last time that this consumer sees Cintric. But this is what Cintric sees. We see a phone. But when this phone begins to move, that's when the magic happens. When we see a visit to 24-hour fitness, this device becomes a person. Someone who goes to the gym on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Someone who's interested in health and fitness. And when this phone shows up next at Whole Foods, we understand when and where this person goes grocery shopping. We understand that they have a higher spend willingness for groceries. And we understand they're interested in organic foods. Now, this rich one-to-one profile building is done in real time everywhere this user visits, allowing us to learn things like demographics, interests, patterns of behavior, and even shopping preferences. And these profiles are not just built for one person. They're built for hundreds, thousands, and even millions of people in real time. Now, all of this data gets piped into the Cintric analyst panel. And we're going to take a look at this as if Safeway was one of our clients. Now, let me be clear, Safeway is not one of our clients, but we're going to look at this as if I was a digital strategist at Safeway, tasked with leveraging our mobile platform to achieve a higher degree of loyalty in our customers. And so as a digital strategist for a retailer, I know that I'm constantly locked in a battle for loyalty to my customers with our competitors. And so when I look at this web panel, I don't just see demographics. I don't just see a complete picture of our users' behavior. I see information that would have taken me months and hundreds of thousands of dollars to obtain with an outside market research firm. And instead, it's available through Cintric to me in just seconds. So when I get an email telling me that our California stores are not performing as expected, my first instinct is to go to Cintric and investigate. So here I can see all the current locations of people who live in California that are on our app. But I'm not interested in where they are now. I am interested in where they are when they're shopping for groceries, not at our stores. So I'm going to go to the brand affinity section of this analyst panel. And I discover that a large percentage of our users are actually very likely to go to Trader Joe's. So I'm going to continue to segment this population down to Safeway app users who live in California and shop at Trader Joe's. And now I'm going to navigate to the table view. Now here I can see the individual level data for visits and our user base. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on one of these users. And here I'm presented with all the data that I can use to personalize my campaign to this individual. Now with Cintric, it collects data on everywhere a user goes. And that means that we can do some amazing things, like actually modify and notice patterns of behavior and actually predict when someone is going to go grocery shopping. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to export this data. And I'm going to take it and use it to augment my current marketing arsenal, so that when I'm going to battle with my competitors over the loyalty of my customers, I'm bringing laser-guided targeting. While on the other side of the table, they have sticks that have been sharpened into moderately pointy ends. And further on, I can actually come back after this campaign is leveraged, and I can measure how those users in that segment behaved after they received the campaign and if their loyalty to my store increased. And now this is just one retail use case for Cintric. We also apply to publishing, quick service restaurants, as well as consumer packaged goods. Thank you, and if you'd like to learn more, please contact us or see us afterwards in the demo pit.
You know, this is one of those things that makes perfect logical sense in theory.
Ooh.
But in practice, it doesn't fucking work.
Interesting.
And here's why.
It's spooky.
You're asking people to tell me everything about you, where you go, when you go, and in return, I get what?
You get an in-app feature, or you get to join a loyalty program. So we actually have had 720,000 people that have already consented to this. And I would point out, too, that I know, like, as myself, as well as many people in the audience, we all have Safeway loyalty cards in our pockets. We share our purchasing data, as well as our home number, our address, and our name. And we actually get less of that information once the user gives us it. All we know is the location from the device.
Here's the second reason it doesn't work. You'll find out.
Great.
I've had a loyalty card at Safeway for 10 years. They know everything I purchase, when I purchase it. Do you know what they do with that data? Absolutely nothing. Zero.
Well, they also customize coupons that they send you. CVS does this as well.
I'm just telling you, this market is much more complicated. There's more nuance to it than you're letting on here. So good luck. I hope it works.
Thanks.
In theory, it sounds good, but I just don't believe it'll work.
Sounds like Don's investing on the spot.
No, it's good to hear, because we've already had a lot of great reactions from large retailers, some of the largest in the world, who are interested in leveraging this, and they're telling us it'll work, but I'm interested to hear your perspective, and I appreciate that.
When does the user actually opt in on the permission side originally?
Sure, so we actually allow the apps to set when they fire off that permission. So one of the things a lot of people do is they will just fire it off as soon as you go in the app. But really, we want to make sure that our partners show value to that user, so we allow them to control when they fire off that local dialogue, and we allow them to set up like a pre-pop-up with like a nice graphic that says, hey, here's why you want your location information, here's what you're getting in exchange.
The other thing was on with the Safeway example you gave. You said which information they have. They know what I'm purchasing. They know my name and where I live.
Yeah, so when you register for a Safeway card, you give them all that information, much like any loyalty program with hundreds, if not thousands, of retailers around the country.
But also a little different than knowing exactly where I'm going all day long, right?
Sure, so that's one of the things that's really beautiful about the system, and that's that it's opt-in. So you might have a different perspective on privacy and what that means to you and how it's important, where many other people might have a different one.
Like Don.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Let's test this. How many people felt that was spooky? Raise your hand.
Yeah, totally fair.
Okay, so how many? That's like almost everybody who's awake. Now, how many people didn't think that was spooky?
But to be fair, listen. To be fair,
Like
a lot of the people.
Oh,
But
I
to be
counted,
fair,
yeah.
a lot of the people in the audience also are being tracked through other apps, and you just don't know, or you've opted in at one point.
Exactly.
So it's not a totally fair.
Yeah, our standards for opt-in, like when we're tracking people in the background, we have to have opt-in. And so a lot of the people in our industry are actually doing it through things like mobile ad views, where they don't even ask the user for the location, but they just grab it.
I think.
Leah, what do you think?
All right.
Leah, what do you think?
I think I'm in the creepy camp.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fair. Yeah.
Christian?
I would just like to know, how would you convince me to sign up for that app?
So, I mean, we don't have an app. It's based on the partner and what they want to offer you as an incentive. So a lot of times we see, again, like in-app features or hooking it into an existing loyalty program so you can get discounts or something along those lines.
Hey, Guy, I love you. I really do. I think
Oh.
it's interesting. Backstage, we decided who was going to be the bad guy, and I got the sticks.
All right.
I'm the bad guy.
Can I just
Well-
add one thing? Like,
Yeah.
If you maybe made it seem like you care about privacy more,
Oh, we absolutely do.
I would. No, you were like drilling in and like, look at where this guy walked across the street to Trader Joe's. And I'm like, oh, that could be me.
Yeah, again,
so
we-
if it just felt
True.
a little bit more like this was like something you treasured. Almost
Yeah.
like when Uber God Mode came out, everyone's like, they know where I am all the time. That's weird. So if you just had that feel.
That's fair.
All
yeah,
right.
we wanted to come up here and demonstrate the power of the system. And again, like we are following standards that are much higher than the rest of people in the industry. So we really want to demonstrate that, not just through what we say on stage, but our actions as well.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear it for Cintric.